Detroit, let's get it jumping again. A huge game tonight. Y'all could be watching any show. Y'all hanging out with us. We don't take it for granted. Cutting right to the chase, if we shall, with Del Chase going to the big board. I'm sorry. Pavlovian effect. You weren't supposed to go.
I was like, what am I breaking down? What are we doing?
Cutting right to the chase of the game, that is. James, the Detroit Lions, they could clinch a playoff spot with the win tonight. They could clinch a playoff spot with a win tonight.
That's early.
Early, extremely early. Packers, on the other hand, Jordan Love could be a part of a first 10-win season.
Yeah.
Clearly, he was hurt for a couple games, but 5 years into the league, Jordan Love could have his first 10-win season as the starting quarterback. Who do you think needs to win more tonight, Packers, Lions?
Oh, it ain't even close. It ain't even a question. It's the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. If they lose this game, they go to 9-4. 9-4, which means you probably ain't gonna have a playoff game at the crib in Lambeau Field. You're probably gonna have to go on the road, right? The Detroit Lions has swept you this year. You have not beat any of the playoff teams in the NFC. And you saying that you are trying to go win a Super Bowl? Because this is a Super Bowl roster. Yeah. Matt LaFleur and Goody has put together a Super Bowl roster. It's a lot of first round. It's 7 to 8 first rounders on that defense alone. You have big-time players on the offense. The Packers have to win this game. And not only that, if they can win this game, they one game back, not only from the division, but you put yourself in position to get the #1 seed.
Well said.
So they have to find a way to get this W on the road in Detroit. They got to win this game.
We're talking about the #1 seed from the Philadelphia Eagles. Just win the game. #1 seed with us?
#1 seed with you.
You should hope they win.
You got your guys. I know you got your Eagles gear on.
I'm glad y'all saying that because that's why I think the Lions have to win this game. The Detroit Lions desperately need to win this game because they need that #1 seed. The Lions are not going into Lincoln Financial Field, where Shady's jersey is forever etched into the Raptors. The Lions are not going into Lincoln Financial Field and heading to the Super Bowl. That's not what they want. That's not what they want.
It might not be nobody.
Like, straight up and down. Detroit, you could suggest, would have went to the Super Bowl last year. Detroit could have went to the Super Bowl last year if they didn't have to go to the Bay. If the Niners instead had to go to Detroit. I'll give y'all something I found fascinating, Chase viewers at home. The Lions have played the fewest outdoor games all season. The coldest atmosphere they've played in all season is 50 degrees. That's nothing. The current championship game scheduled to be played January 26th. You want to know how cold it'd be in Philly on January 26th?
21.
The high is 41.
Oh, God.
So the high is going to be 41 on average on that day as of last year. The Lions do not want to go to Philadelphia because speed does not necessarily travel well in the cold, nor does Flash. Flash does not travel well in the cold. Lions need to win this game, stay ahead of the Eagles, stay ahead of that #1 spot, and make sure you can secure that #1 spot, Shady, if they want to get to the Super Bowl.
That's a nice one. It's turned into an Eagles combo. You know what I mean? But you on top, Chase. It's like that, man. You know, you ain't on top. I will say this, though. That was a nice take, right? But I'm going somewhere else with it. Are the Packers really elite? You talked about having all them first rounders on defense, right? A good coach, a Super Bowl contender type quarterback, right? You got a hell of a running back there, some wide receivers with some speed. But are they really elite team, though? They 9-3.
Can we find out?
But the 9 wins. You got one team that had a winning record, the Houston Texans, and we all think the Houston Texans is okay, right?
Up and down.
And then your losses against the big dogs. Philadelphia Eagles. That big bird, right? Can I get that sound real quick? That big bird? No. There we go. You beat the Vikings in your division, right? And they're a really good team that you lost to them.
Lost to the Vikings.
And then you lost to the Lions already at home. So as much as we want to talk about the Packers, they're being so good, all this talent. They did some great things last year, momentum, healthy quarterback. What's it mean, though, Acho?
True.
Because when you look at it, they look funny in the light a little bit. Prove me wrong, though.
So you with me?
Yo, prove me wrong. I don't want to call funny in the light. All I'm saying is you beat some teams that's okay.
You bringing out that?
Jaguars, Bills, 49ers, the Dolphins, the Colts, the Titans, the Rams, the Cardinals. I don't believe in the Packers, though. A lot of teams. They can beat a lot of good teams, but they also can lose to a lot of good teams. And you haven't beat a really good team yet. So you talking about the seeding for the Lions and all that, I don't care about that. Packers, show me you elite.
With that take,
right now,
with that take right there, I can't wait till we see y'all again.
The Packers got the third best
coming
record
through
in
the league
league
like we did before in the playoffs, and we gonna win because we know how to play in the cold. I can't wait. I kind of hope we lose now, Shady, so we can go up in there and see y'all, man. Over there with all that.
You don't believe in the Packers?
We 9-3.
Because they're 9-3. They're the third best record.
I do agree, though.
They're the third best record in football, though, and they were without their starting quarterback for 2 or 3 games.
I agree with my dog.
Hold up. See now what I do on this show, though, right? Because a little bit of you, but a lot of you too. You do a lot of flip-flopping. One day it's this, the other day it's that. You do all this. So what I do, though, right? Because I learned from my lawyers, when they start doing that, you write it down. Yeah. And, Your Honor, December 2nd, you said this. December 4th, you said that.
Well.
So a while ago, you talked. Yes, I do. You talked about just getting wins, right? And who you beating.
Stacking them.
Okay, so but you also said it matters who you win against.
That's true. You said that about the Eagles.
So when we read, you beat the Colts, who had a whole bunch of quarterback situation that going on. Nobody's really doing them. The Jaguars.
Texans are
Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback there. You know he's bad. The rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams. He's up and down, right? The Niners. You see what they got going on.
Good this year.
The Dolphins. I mean.
Yeah.
Hello.
No.
Hello. The Rams. Titans, Cardinals.
Yeah.
So that's what you said, Chase. So now when you take this, remember what I said. Who they beat, who they lost to.
Yeah. Who needs to win more tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
We just answered the question.
We turned up today, baby.
It's my NFC Super Bowl pick. Remember we did the test shows before we started?
Years ago.
That was weeks ago. Well, that was a long time ago. But it's been an up and down season, and quite honestly, you got to go to record, right? Lions 11-1, Packers 9-3. If Packers go to 10-3, Lions go to 11-2. First of all, the division's wide open. The number 1 seed's wide open. I don't care what you say. I do think the Lions can travel to Philly with that run game, okay, and win. So for me, it's what the Packers are doing right now. I really like the way they're playing as of late. They finally got their quarterback healthy, Jordan Love. Jordan has not thrown an interception in back-to-back games. In the first 8 games he got back from injury, he threw 11. So he's turned the football over. Little did I know before I started looking at this, and little did I bet all of us know, they have the 5th-ranked rushing attack in the league. So this is a rushing team while Jordan Love is continuing to get better, continuing to get healthy. And what I'm seeing out of Matt LaFleur is stuff that I've really never seen. He's on the cutting edge of offense. He does a lot of 4-by-1 formations, all these shifts, all these motions. This run game is never stationary, Shady. It's counter left, counter right with motion, with jet sweep, with stuff. So it just really confuses them. So without a doubt, for me, it's the Packers. Look, the Lions are a good team. We know that.
Yes, sir.
And that was part of my point, too, and I'm glad you said that, is they've lost to really good teams. Not just like, okay, they've lost to the Lions, the Eagles, and the Vikings. Like the top
playoff
3.
elite team,
All playoff elite teams. So this will be a good chance on national television to see what the Packers are made of, because I really like LaFleur and Jordan Love.
And that's why, like, all jokes aside, that's why I agree with Shady, though. They have to beat a winning team, a dominant team. They're going to be in the playoffs. The Packers are a really good football team, right? You don't choose your schedule. You play who's on your dang schedule.
Of course.
They are a really good football team. But when it's time to be really good against really good opponents, they haven't been, right? And they are a really good football team because they won 3 of them games with Malik Willis, where we had to tote the ball dang near 40 times and couldn't throw the ball none. Defense won some of them games too. So they have showed signs, but the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Detroit Lions are teams that are going to be in the postseason. You got to play at an elite level. Tonight is the night.
I got a question for James. It's really for all y'all, because all y'all think the Packers should win. If the Packers lose this game,
should win.
Do you have any faith in the Packers going into the playoffs to make it to that Super Bowl? If they lose this game, do you have faith if you lose to the Lions twice and you lose to the Eagles? Mind you, they still get to play the Vikings again, but we do not view the Vikings like we view the Lions and the Eagles in large part because we don't view Sam Darnold like we view Jalen Hurts or like we view Jared Goff. So, James, is this the last chance for the Packers to prove themselves to you? Because after they got the Seahawks, the Saints, the Bears, and, of course, the Vikings. The last chance for the Packers to prove themselves to you.
I'm Packers through and through. But how could we have confidence in the Packers? How could we have confidence in the Packers knowing you lost to the Lions twice, knowing you lost to the Vikings, knowing you lost to the Eagles, and saying that you are going to go into the playoffs and beat all these teams back to back to back?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You can't have no faith in them. And you got to possibly go on the road in all those games, too, and win. Yeah. I will not have any faith in the Packers getting to the Super Bowl if they can't find a way to win this game.
Only thing about the Packers, though, is weird about them is, like, they are so talented.
They are.
Right? It's like we all play blackjack. It's like a 2.
Yeah, you can do anything.
Sometimes, you get a 2, you like, whoa, here it come. Hey, I got 9, I got the 2.
Give me
okay, here come that jack.
The other 2.
But then sometimes
could go face and bust right on out.
You get what I'm saying?
Right on out.
They got showing an 8.
I got a 12.
And you got a 12. It's like, another 2.
Yep.
So that's what the Packers, because we watched them beat a really, really, really good Cowboys team on the road.
Yeah.
And at this time, the Cowboys won like 16 in a row at home.
Very true.
Right? So they got all that talent. It's just that sometimes they don't show up, James.
Rodgers said, I think it is ridiculous, with all due respect. If they want me to stay, fantastic. If it takes these 5 games, maybe they don't know what I bring to the table. But that being said, I'd love to play really freaking well these last 5 games. I think it's ridiculous, that's him saying, that he still has to prove himself. James, I saw that and I had to ask you because it is
We had to ask you.
Well, y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
The NFL, regardless of what you have done throughout the duration of your career, rent is due every single day. And Aaron Rodgers, he is delinquent on rent this year. So I think Aaron Rodgers does still need to prove himself because ask Shady. Shady, an all-decade running back. But when he went to the Chiefs, still had to prove it. When he went to the Bucs, still had to prove it.
Question.
Peyton Manning was already a bona fide Hall of Famer, but even the Colts said, hey, big dog, that neck injury, you know what? Go on to the left. Let's go ahead and draft Andrew Luck. You still have to prove it. The greats still have to prove it. Tom Brady, towards the end of his Patriots tenure, still had to prove it. We'll talk about LeBron here momentarily.
Yeah.
LeBron James had 3-4 bad games in a row, and people are saying, you know what, he needs to retire. You still have to prove it. So, James, I think Aaron Rodgers, he still has to prove himself because as long as you're a pro athlete, that rent is due every day.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what Aaron Rodgers is saying, obviously he accomplished a lot in this league. And if any of us is thinking that 25-year-old Aaron Rodgers is coming back, then we all tripping. Right? Now, every single time you take the football field, you got to play well. If you do not play well consistently, they are going to say, you can't do this job. That's the National Football League. Whether you're a 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, whether you're a 2-time MVP, whatever it is, right? If you play average consistently, that is not going down in the NFL, and they are going to say that you can't do it anymore, right? And that is kind of what everybody is saying about Aaron Rodgers, the way this season has gone. So for me, you do have to go out there and prove that you can still play this game at a high level. And I'm not talking about running all over the place, throwing outside the box. In this pocket, you got to show you are an elite quarterback. So I do still think that every time you take the field, you got to prove it. That's the National Football League. Once you stop doing that consistently, they're going to say, hey, it's time to move on, or he can't do it anymore. That's football. That's the National Football League. So, yes, he does have to go out there and play well. They've been losing, and he has not been playing at an elite level.
The train has sort of moved on, though, from the Jets, in my opinion. Like, I don't think the Jets want him back. And so I think this comment that he was saying, right, he feels like he has to prove himself. But did we hear what he said before this? Did you see the entire quote? He was talking about how he just redid his home in New Jersey.
Yes, no.
So he wanted to stay there because of this. But for him to say that, look, the league is, what have you done for me lately, Luke? And I will remember Sean Payton saying that to Drew Brees.
No question.
Even after we won the Super Bowl. Hey, we won the Super Bowl in 2009. We come in that next year, it's a shortened off season, and we're sitting down there. It's my first year as a true backup. I'm like, we got to do this again. It's so easy. I wanted my rookie year. Sean Payton goes, I thought he'd be excited. What have we done lately? Because the last 2 months, y'all partied your butts off. Yeah. You didn't do anything. Yeah. You got to prove it every day. When we went 2010, that was a beast mode game. We went 10-6. We got our butts beat by I think an 8-9 team or an 8-8 team, something like that, on the road. So we sort of rested in our laurels. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers has done that, but you have to prove it every single practice, every single week, every single game, not only on the field, but off the field as well, especially at a leadership position like the quarterback position.
Should Rodgers have to prove it, too?
Yeah, I got you. I'm going to say yes, because when has Aaron Rodgers been good, though? Can we remember the last time he's been good?
2022, the start of it.
Yeah. The start of it.
Start of 2022 season.
What year he leave?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the 22.
He wasn't good this last year in Green Bay.
The first 6 games he was.
What are we talking about?
Well, we'll just say he
first game they lost. The first game they lost to the Vikings, right? Yeah. And he blamed all the young receivers. Now you got me thinking now. Yeah, I'm not tripping. I'm right.
He did drop that bomb, though.
He did.
Go ahead.
Whatever it is, though. All I'm saying is that when's the last time we say, honestly, this dude's still nice?
3 years ago.
MVP.
All right, so when he's asking questions about how the Jets feel and this, that, and the third, it's like, why you have to prove yourself? Because you ain't been good in 3 years. Yeah. You ain't been Aaron Rodgers in 3 years. Think about it for a second, though. You had one game to win against the Lions to go to the playoffs, and you lost. When everybody in the world even me, I put my money, Aaron gonna win at least one this last game.
I even bet on that one.
So when we talking about proving yourself, because we're not talking about the 4-time MVP no more. We're not talking about him, right? We talking about the recent Aaron Rodgers. The last 3 years he hasn't been good.
About him, yeah.
So my thing is, why would the Jets want you back? What do you bring to the table? He talked about bringing to the table. What you bring to the table?
That's a good point.
Because y'all lost more when you lost more games when they had Zach Wilson at quarterback. He's awful. So what I'm asking you, like, why are you bringing this quarterback back at 42 years old at a high, $37 million a year? Like, why? Because you ain't been good in years. So yes, you got to prove yourself, dog. Because if it was the old Aaron Rodgers, it would be a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
Hey, right up here. But since the last 3 years, you have nothing for us to say, yo, you are a good quarterback still. Would
it change your mind these next 5 games about Aaron Rodgers for you personally if he went out and threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns a game? Like, should the New York Jets want him back, or are you thinking, hey, this is just...
First of all, so that won't happen. That won't happen. Okay. But my thing is, yo, you had this whole year to show us something, and you haven't. We brought you here to win playoff games, to get to the playoffs, not the last 4 or 5 games.
So it don't matter to you.
But look how this thing has changed, though. It went from we get Aaron Rodgers in the Jets building. Yeah. We're going to be a playoff team, great defense, good coach, all these weapons. Yeah. And now we talking about, yo,
everyone's fired.
If he just has 5 good games.
Yeah. So really quick, though, you guys don't feel it's fair to, like, give him, like, a...
Fair?
Hold on, man.
I'm saying, but fair?
You guys don't think it's fair to give him kind of a bridge year off the Achilles?
Oh, my
no, I think that's a good question.
But he's looked healthy at times this year.
I know, but I'm just saying. Like, Kirk Cousins has looked healthy at times. He leads the league in interceptions.
I would say,
and they talking about benching for rookie.
No doubt, but I'm just saying.
And Aaron Rodgers aren't like...
I know they're not in the same...
I would say, of course, it is fair to do that. The dilemma is you don't have that luxury. And oftentimes people, you don't have that luxury. People are like, hey, Acho, come out, let's go out tonight. I said, bro, I got to wake up at 5 a.m. for this show tomorrow. I don't have that luxury.
No doubt.
So if Aaron Rodgers was 22 instead of, I believe he just turned 41. Maybe. If he was 21 instead of 41, because you're right, bro. He tore an Achilles. He didn't break a thumb. He didn't fracture. So he tore an Achilles tendon that you have to suture back together, if I am not mistaken. So, he should get another year. So we don't have that luxury.
Do you think he wants to play another? Like, I know you're not.
That'll be. I have not asked him that question personally, but that'll be a good question because I think that's. But like I said, even if he does want to play, the way Aaron Rodgers has played since he's been a New York Jet, it's out of his control now. This is the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career it's out of his control. Aaron was so good they drafted a first-round quarterback, and he said, "Hold on," and they paid him more money. Because Aaron Rodgers was like, this is the first time it's out of his control. Like Shady's saying, what have you delivered for the Jets? You haven't delivered wins. So it's out of your control. The Jets are going to do what the Jets want to do. And the new coaching and regime is coming in. They're going to do what they want to do. Aaron knows how this works. We went 13-3 with Brett Favre and lost in an NFC championship. And Aaron started the next season. Brett was gone to the Jets because they knew what Aaron Rodgers was behind him. So he knows how this works. You have to go out here these last 5 games, and you need to kind of be like we're talking about Mike right now. What if he win a couple more? If you win 4 out of these last 5, then you might put some pressure on the Jets to be like, hold on. Oh, he did come along at the end of the season. Some type of talk. But he knows how this goes. You got to ball out,
That's when I cut you off. You kept talking about fair. This league has never been fair.
Never, ever.
So true.
Come on, man.
That's incredibly well.
That's why you looked at me like that. Fair. What's fair about this? I'm like, let me get my question out. He like, fair? This league ain't never fair.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.